Hello and welcome to this screencast tutorial on GetFiveStars. Today I'd like to show you about our new Zapier integration. Now, Zapier is a service that allows you to integrate with hundreds of other apps. It has over 500 apps included, and we now have an integration on Zapier that allows us to connect to any of these apps. And so I wanted to show you that today and show you how to hook it up to QuickBooks, which would be one common scenario where maybe whenever an invoice is created in QuickBooks, it could automatically send a feedback request out to your customer using GetFiveStars. So to connect apps together in Zapier, you need to create these things called Zaps. And I'm going to go ahead and assume that you already have QuickBooks Online in here. I'm going to say make a new Zap, and it's going to give me options. So here are a couple of apps that have already got into my Zapier account. So I'm going to select QuickBooks Online. And what's cool about this is when I select QuickBooks, it says here are all the things that can trigger some activity. In our case, we could either make it whenever we add a new customer to QuickBooks, then maybe it would add that customer and get 5 stars. Or maybe whenever you create a new invoice, then that would trigger it. So you could do any of these, which is cool. You could have any of these trigger. Let's just say whenever you add a new customer in QuickBooks, then we're going to add one and get 5 stars too. So I select new customer from the QuickBooks triggers, and then it's going to ask me to connect to an account. Now I've already done this, and there's instructions in Zapier how to connect any of these apps up. So I'm going to take this existing QuickBooks Online connection. I'll just say save and continue. And basically it's saying, hey, let's test it out. Make sure you've got at least a customer that's been created. So let me pop over to QuickBooks Online and show you that customer. I have Harrison Ford here created. So that gives me a chance to test this out. So I'm going to say fetch and continue, and it's going to test the connection with QuickBooks Online, and is going to verify that it can query this customer. So let's take a look. Here it is. Definitely it's found it. There's your data. Say continue. So now we know that we can talk to QuickBooks, and we've set it up this trigger to say whenever a new customer is created, we're going to do something. And now that something is in the next step. And here we're going to choose an app, and we're going to say get 5 stars. And I'm going to select that app. And we have one action so far, and that action is to create a customer. So what this will allow you to do is set this, we can configure it so that any other app can trigger this activity to happen, right? So I'm going to say whenever a new customer is created in QuickBooks Online, we're going to create this customer and get 5 stars. And we can automatically send that feedback request or queue it up for later. So we're going to say save and continue. And now it's going to ask me some questions. You're going to need to contact us to get your API key and your client ID and your business ID. I'll show you what those look like. But all you need to do is send us an email to support@getfivestars.com, and we will give you this information that you can pop in here to allow these apps to talk together. So here's what the API key and the client ID and the business ID look like. We'll send those to you in an email. All I need to do is copy and paste these into the configuration. All right, now with those set up, I get to choose the fields that are going to come over. Now these drop downs are going to allow me to insert a field from QuickBooks into the mapping for Get 5 Stars. So in this case, I'm looking for the email. So I'm going to scroll down until I see the email, and it even shows me the sample data in here. So I see that the primary email address is where the email is stored in my sample customer. Then I'm going to go to the first name. In this case, it is the given name, and then the customer last name, which is the family name, and then the customer phone number. Now in this case, I'm looking for the mobile phone number because in case I need to connect with SMS or something, I like to get that number. So there we go. So those are all the fields that are going to be mapped from QuickBooks Online into Get 5 Stars. And when I say continue, it's going to give me a chance to test this out and actually create that customer from QuickBooks Online into Get 5 Stars as a test. So I'm going to say create and continue. And now it's running the test. It's going in, it's pulling that customer from QuickBooks, and it's putting it into GetFiveStars. So I'm going to go ahead and say finish, and my Zap is done. All I need to do is name it. So I'm going to call this QuickBooks Online to GetFiveStars, and I'm going to turn it on. And what this is going to do is just check every 5 minutes in my QuickBooks account, and if there is a new customer in there, it will create that customer in GetFiveStars so that a feedback request can be sent out. Now remember, I could have tied this to other triggers like when an invoice is created or a payment is received. So any of those triggers that we saw in QuickBooks could be used here. I just used create new customer for an example. So let me go over to GetFiveStars and show you this customer that was created. Here he is, Harrison Ford. So Zapier took that customer from QuickBooks Online, took our integration that we made and put him into GetFiveStars. If you have automatic mode turned on in GetFiveStars, the feedback request will automatically go out and your customer will receive a feedback request that looks something like this. Now the way it works going forward is anytime I create a new customer in QuickBooks Online, Zapier is going to be monitoring that, and when it finds it, it's going to put it over into GetFiveStars. Right now it checks every 5 minutes. So going back over to Zapier, I'm going to go to my dashboard, and this shows me all the Zaps that I have. Here's the QuickBooks Online to GetFiveStars Zap that I created. I created another one for FreshBooks in very much the same way. And you can do that with really any of the apps, right? So any of these apps can trigger actions to happen in GetFiveStars. And so now you can hook up over 500 different apps to GetFiveStars. So anyway, we're very excited about this integration. I hope you'll give it a try. And give us your feedback. Let us know what other kinds of things you want to be able to do in GetFiveStars, and we'll set it up. Thanks for watching.